Hello and welcome to another session of movie reviews from HCC MovieMakers Academy Movie Reviews. My name is Nguyen Lee and this is...
I'm Trey Dixon and we just saw Far From the Madding Crowd.
The beloved adaptation from... the adaptation from the beloved novel from Thomas Hardy.
Far From the Madding Crowd is the new film from Thomas Vinterberg, the Great Dane himself. It stars Carey Mulligan, Martin Sheen, Matthias Schoenaerts, and a slew of other actors, and it centers on the headstrong, independent Bathsheba Everdeen as she deals with the proposals of three separate suitors that ask her to marry them. So, Nguyen, what did you think of this film?
I really want to love it, but I'm afraid I have to stop short at liking it.
I like this film quite a bit. It's not great, but I am pleasantly surprised with what I ended up getting. Okay. I knew it would at least be good because it's directed by Thomas Vinterberg, who is a magnificent director. I don't know if you've ever seen The Hunt or...
He did a fantastic job out of that.
The Hunt is a really good movie, and The Celebration is also a terrific movie, and the birth of Anthony Dodd Mantle, probably one of the greatest cinematographers working right now. This movie is not quite his greatest, but it has some terrific central performances and really great attention to detail.
Yes.
And even though I knew virtually nothing going into it, and it does get a little...
Likewise.
and it is a little baggy at times. I was constantly engaged throughout.
Yes, it was consistently entertaining. I was not bored one bit. However, the thing about adaptations is that it's always like taking the best bits of the novel.
Yeah.
It can never include everything, and it couldn't be more apparent here.
You can see what's being cut out. I don't even have any familiarity with the story, but you're looking at it and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, there was something else that led up to this.
Right.
And who knows how much they left on the cutting room floor, but it was particularly obvious that some stuff had been left out.
Right. I have a big problem with the editing, though. The time progression in the film, it was unclear. It was
I like that. I like that.
You like that?
I like that they didn't tell us what time it was in the progression of the plot. It reminded me of Blue is the Warmest Color, where they don't ever tell you that these kids graduated from high school.
Right.
You never figure out from some sort of indication through the editing that she's moved on to another farm. She's doing something different with her life.
Yeah.
Where characters are, how far into one person's marriage it's become. I like that they don't show us that because it gives us, the audience, a chance to figure things out for ourselves. And I think that's smart. I like when filmmakers do that.
Yeah, well, it's just that I think maybe because I'm so affected by The Hunt so much, because The Hunt, there's also not a clear time frame, but there's a clear progression of how things goes,
Yeah, but
not here.
With The Hunt, though, it's a story that takes place over the course of several weeks, and then at the very end, it cuts to a year later when it's finally over. But with this movie and this story, it takes place over the course of several years. So progressing that in a choppy way where you're not showing people where it is specifically, it kind of works because we're working with such a great time period, a long period of time. So for me, it didn't really bother me. My problem is some of the character, the way the character motivations are revealed over the course of the movie. There's a character that shows up, and I guess by saying this I'm faulting the story, but she falls in love with some sort of army person.
Right, yes.
And his plot line was part of his character motivation. It didn't work, because this guy was also involved with Juno Temple's character, and
Fanny Robin.
Yeah, and none of that worked.
Right.
I don't think any of that worked. There was but
I felt that his storyline was the most compelling, though. Yeah, even though it was underdeveloped, like you said. The thing is, the problem with adaptations, we have three different people with three different storylines that lead them converging on Bathsheba, and of course...
It's just, with his character, you expect a certain change in him once he finds out that Fanny is still around, but you never really get a chance to see that guilt shine through. You never really get a chance to see how that really affected him. He kind of comes across selfish when you can tell that the novel was clearly portraying this person as someone who was a little more compassionate.
Right.
You can tell that because it's an adaptation, it was trying to go for something, but it didn't quite work out.
Right.
But
then again, some characters, I mean, oh my God, their acting, so good.
My favorite performance in this movie is from Matthias Schoenaert. I thought that he was subdued brilliantly, and he's such a dynamic actor. I don't know if you ever saw The Drop.
I have.
Yeah.
He's that one breed of actor that acts with his eyes.
Yeah, he's very.
He looks tough. He has leading man material, but he doesn't really like all macho. You know?
Can tell waves of emotion just from his expression. And I don't know if you ever saw Rust and Bone.
I haven't actually, but it's on my list.
Yeah, but he was terrific in that movie. He's like fluent French. That's like his first language, and he manages to portray the English accent perfectly. The guy's a brilliant actor. But let's not downcut the efforts of Carey Mulligan, who probably gives my favorite performance from her since Shame.
Yeah, she's awesome. She shows both of her sides like perfectly and very convincing as well.
She plays a very independent woman, and she portrays that beautifully.
And you know, when she you know, being weak, she shows like she drops that independence, that her using her independence as a shield, and it's so beautiful. It's just a moving performance.
Yeah, you get a sense that a great deal of this face that she puts on is genuine, but that there's something else that's sort of floating underneath. And when you get to see that come out, it's really beautiful to watch.
Right. And beautiful. Oh, speaking of beautiful.
The costumes.
The costumes, yes. And
I don't normally notice costumes in a movie.
Right.
I know that a lot of work goes into it, but it's never normally something that I focus on in the movie. But with this, I could not get over some of the stuff that these people were wearing. This is a beautiful looking movie, both from an aesthetic level and just the way that it's like beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Right. And I think you noticed that our suitors, our characters, our main characters are color-coded, right?
Yes. I did notice that these are correlating.
Right.
This is interesting the way they're doing this.
Yeah. And the landscape, I mean, it's perfect how Thomas Hardy, you know, he's famous for...
Was this shot in Denmark? I'm assuming it was probably shot somewhere.
No, I don't think it was shot in Denmark. The scenery looks Scotland. I mean, I've seen that edge before, but I can't remember where it is.
Wherever it was probably some of the most gorgeous landscape I've seen since Lord of the Rings.
Anyway, it was...
No, it's really... this movie
I do agree. I do completely agree.
Even if there wasn't like a dramatic heft to this movie, there's still a lot of great eye candy. There's still a lot of great stuff that you can fall back on technically with this movie.
Right. The music.
The music, yes.
And Carey Mulligan sings. Carey Mulligan sings.
I mean, we all saw her in Shame, but we didn't know how great a singer she was. That's
New York.
Yeah, man.
I think that's my favorite rendition of it.
Really?
Even though she's not an artist.
No,
she's not a singer.
I would like for her to make music because she's a beautiful singer, and this movie is pretty beautiful. It's not great. It has its flaws. It's a little uneven. It's kind of baggy at times. Some of the character motivations just didn't fly with me, particularly one. But I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit, and I would probably go ahead and give it around a 7 out of 10, I think.
I would be more lenient than you and give it a 7.5.
7.5, okay.
Yeah, even though, I do agree with you, like the drama aspect of it it could have been more, but then other than that, this is a very handsomely produced production, and I mean, wow. Yeah, I liked it. Some of the things are very breathtaking. It's very dreamy at times.
Yeah,
too.
very, very, like, you feel like it's like something that you saw out of a vision. Or it feels very romantic and very fable-like. But that's to come expected from Thomas Hardy. It's just, they managed to capture that thing that he does. It's just this beautiful, romantic, dreamlike thing that he's known for.
Yep.
So that's Far From the Madding Crowd. I recommend it, and thank you for watching HCC MovieMakers Academy movie reviews. We're brought to you by the Houston Community College Filmmaking Program and HCC TV. We love movies, and if you love movies too, then check out our website, www.hccs.edu, and enroll yourself in the art of filmmaking. We love movies, and if you love movies, then visit
subscribes to us on YouTube,
Yeah.
right? And do you know that if you do, and if you do mention to your professors that you've subscribed, you can have lower tuition rates.
If there is a specific movie you would like for us to review, let us know in the comments section, and we will see you next time.